In this week's vlog post, we'll take a look at two common biomechanical issues that many runners have to address: overstriding and heel striking. In our first series of frames, you'll note that the athlete is clearly overstriding. That is to say, her foot is falling substantially out in front of her center of gravity. I've represented the athlete's center of gravity with the square that you can see here in her midsection. Now, if we were to draw a straight line through her foot, straight up and down, you'll note that there's quite a bit of difference between where that line is running and her center of gravity. So the problem here is a couple of things we're going to look at. Number one, her leg is almost fully extended during impact. So she is transmitting a lot of force through her heel, up through her knee, hip, and lower back region with every single step. This is going to increase the likelihood of her at some point getting injured, lead to wear and tear on the joints of the knees and the hips and the lower back region. In addition, with every single step she's taking, she's applying braking force. So she's, in essence, slowing herself down with every single stride. A big part of her problem stems from the fact that she's running far too erect. So in future training clinics, what we're hoping to do is to train her how to run a little bit more forward. That is to say, to adopt a more forward pelvic and torso angle, somewhere closer to about 10 to 12 degrees. Now, when we contrast her position with that of our next runner, you'll notice that her next runner is running in a much more forward manner. Her pelvic and torso angle comes in at somewhere around 15 to 16 degrees at this speed. The next thing you'll notice is that, unlike our first athlete, her leg is not fully extended during the stride cycle when her foot is about to hit the ground. And when the foot actually does make contact with the ground, you'll note that it's falling directly underneath her knee. The other thing that you'll notice is that her center of gravity is actually shifted out in front of her. Once again, this is due to the fact that she's running at a pronounced torso and pelvic angle, so she is effectively moving her center of gravity out in front of her body. Now, the advantage to this is that in addition to her not applying any braking force with every stride, she's also minimizing the amount of force that's being transmitted through her knees, through her hips, through her lower back, and helping to keep her body a lot safer. She's helping to dissipate that impact force that would normally be transmitted through your joints when you're running to erect. The other big advantage here is that with every stride, she's effectively falling forward into her next stride. So she's using her body position as a form of leverage. She's using it to help improve her momentum, and she's using gravity to her advantage. So once again, this is another way that we can use programs such as Silicon Coach and Dartfish, which I'm currently using, to our advantage. We can use it to analyze our athletes' movement patterns, their biomechanics, and then make the necessary changes that will both help to make them more efficient and help to reduce the likelihood of injury.